Good morning to one and all. Today we are going to talk with the topic reproductive health. For the crash course. So, reproductive health means now we need to understand the definition of health. Health is a physical, emotional, behavioral and social well-being of an organism. That is, an organism health is a condition of mental, physical, physiological and social well-being is called health. And to this, that is, along with this social well-being, physically, mentally, physiologically, if a person is in a good state or normal state is called healthy person. So the definition according to the World Health Organization that along with these reproductive organs are all healthy, then the person is called as reproductively healthy person. Reproductively healthy person. So, in the world, India 1951, India has first launched its family program, family planning program. This is the first in the world to launch that, and the first version of this family planning was recently the establishments of RCH, Rural Health, Reproductive and Child Health Care Centers were produced. Now they were renamed or later they were revised as Rural Health Centers. Rural Health Centers. So, here there is a specific test which is done in the rural called as amniocentesis. So amniocentesis is an extra chromosomal pattern. Doing of chromosomal pattern, from amniotic fluid to find any chromosomal abnormalities, But this test is also generally done for sex determination. But the sex determination was banned in India. The sex determination was banned in India because of this sex determination, because it is not meant for the sex determination, it is only meant for the finding out any chromosomal abnormalities in the. So, coming on to the reproductive health, the Indian Council Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow, which was located in Lucknow, has developed a oral contraceptive method called Saheli. Saheli means friend. So, it is a friend to the women because it has ruled out, it is also called as 1 week, 1 pill. 1 week, 1 pill method. It is having the non-steroidal hormones. non-steroidal hormones, and initially 1 to first 3 months 2 pills per week, but after 3 months to till 1 pregnancy, you can only use 1 week per 1 month. And generally, coming to the plans of India, you can see that in the year 1900, the world population was 2 billions. And 1950, it was 4 billions. And 2000, it was 6 billions. But when you come on to the India, here, no, here 0.35 billions, now 1 plus crores, 1 plus billions are present. So with this data, we can say that every 6th in the world is an Indian. Every 6th in the world is an Indian. Every 6th in the world is an Indian. So, coming to the reproductive health, now we'll talk about the reproductive health. Reproductive health means the healthy person with physical, social, economical, emotional and behavioral, where social well-being is called as a reproductive. This is the definition given by the World Health Organization. In concern to the reproductive health, the first country to give a national level program to attain the total reproductive health is the India. And the family planning program was initiated by the then Indian government in the year 1951. Later it was renamed, and the latest version of this family planning program was RCH, that is Reproductive and Child Health Care. So in this reproductive and child health care organizations, which were now operated in the rural healthcare centers, they will be taking care of the pregnant ladies and the child, and in concern to the immunization process and supplying of certain materials and giving the knowledge to the people in concern to the reproductively healthy, how to keep them healthy and make the young India with the reproductive healthy status. So, in this, generally, many people ask, because of the avoiding of the female or the negligence of the female feticides, there was a test ban in India in the year 1971, which was called as a amniocentesis. Amniocentesis is a fetal sex determination test based on the chromosomal pattern found in the amniotic fluid around the embryo. Originally, it was not meant for the fetal sex determination. It was only meant for the chromosomal abnormalities testing. So, here in this concern, we can also see that the Central Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, under this organization, we have a institute called as Central Drug Research Institute, which was located in Lucknow, which has produced a more effective oral contraceptive pill called as Saheli. Saheli is a non-steroidal, non-hormonal organization which is generally known as a weekly pill. And this weekly pill, generally for the first 3 months we need to use 2 weeks per pill, and it has come over the daily using oral contraceptive pills. And after 3 months, until we want to space the children, we can only use 1 pill per 1 month, 1 week. So when you come on to these strategies and plans related to the population explosion, when we talk about the population explosion, generally population is exploding India as well as world in the ratio of arithmetical and concern to the food production in the geometrical ratio. Generally, when you look to the world population, in the case of the world as well as India, in the last 1 century, you can see that world population was in the year 1900 was only 2 billions. And when you see that in the case of 1950, it was 4 billions. It means there is a doubling of the number of population all over the world, approximately double. That is twice. Now, when you come to the 1950 to 2000 May, the population was once more added with the 2 billions again. Means that is 200 crores of population were added to the previous 4 crores. So why there was this 1950 to 2000 is called as a medical revolution in the world as well as India. When you take the India in concern to this population explosion, in the 1900, before independence, it was approximately only less than crores. Some crores in the population, that was approximately 0. And when you look the same in that is 35 crores of population was present in the India in 1950. And from 1950 to 2000, the Indian population has almost arose by 65 billions, 6.65 billions, that is 65 crores of population is added. So with this, when you calculate the Indian population with the world population, you can see that the population rose almost more than 2.5 times in India rather than the original population which has to be. So here these are the population statistics. According to this, every 6th person in the world is an Indian. And you can see that why this population has exploded in India. That is because of medical evolution. And before 1950s, there were generally more mother mortality days during the pregnancy, or during the pregnancy or near to the birth of the baby. And infant mortality rate was also comparatively high before 1950, and it was being reduced because of rapid medical revolution. That was increased, the IMR was decreased because of the mother's mortality rate, and infant mortality rate decreased. The population has comparatively drastically increased, and according to the Indian statistics of 2001 census, the population of India growth rate was approximately 1.7%. That is, every 17 people are added to the 1,000 people. But according to the 2011 census, it is 2 people in 100 people or 20 people in 1,000 people who are generally added to the population. And if the population rate grows like this, approximately in every 33 years, the population to the existing population, including the death, and comparatively the birth of the babies, every 33 years the population will increase by double. So in order to control this population statistics, population data, as well as to provide the necessary needs to the people, government in 1951, along with the family planning program, because of the democracy, so they have initiated by different ways. They have been supporting the people, they have been educating the people, they have been sex educating the people, and they have also imposed certain laws to eradicate the population or to control the population growth. In that, government has given certain slogans, and they have done the certain for more, initiate the people to do the certain initiated the people to do the certain family planning such that and giving the slogans Hamdo Amarado, which is a famous popular slogan given in the year between the 1950s to 2000. As a result, the population was comparatively controlled, and the government has also enacted a law that the marriage age or childhood marriages was discouraged, and the marriage after the maturity of the people was encouraged. And the government also kept a law stating that for females approximately nearly 18 years is required. 18 years crossing is required to become a major and to be married, and that is 21 years for the males. Comparatively, this has also some decreased the population, because at the early ages of the maturation, there is a possibility of more birth of the people without the proper development of the child. In concern to this, the government has motivated the people for not completely stopping the population, but also promoting certain other factors like using of birth control measures. In the birth control measures, we can see that there are certain birth control measures as for this you can remember with the N bios. N stands for the natural methods, B stands for the barrier methods, I stands for the intrauterine devices and implants, and O stands for the oral contraceptives, stands for the sterilization methods. So in these natural methods, when you talk about the natural methods, so avoiding of male and female gamete mating is the major concern in the natural methods. In this, avoiding of this can be done by three methods. One is called as periodic absentia, that is no coitus or no sexual sex between the days of between 10 to 17 days, which are considered as a fertile days, and coital withdrawal or coital interrupts or coital withdrawal method. In this, so the sex is done, but the insemination, the semen is not ejaculated in the female vagina. So as a result, there is no chance of mating of sperm with the ovum. So this is also one of the safest method. And the third one is lactational amnesia. Lactational amnesia is a method when the mother is giving the intense milk to the baby. That is, for first 6 months of the intense, the mother menstruation cycle is without ovum, or no ovum is produced because of the mother is giving intense milk to the baby. So this is also called as lactational amnesia. These three are considered to be the safest methods without no side effects. But these natural methods, as there is a certain possibility of pregnancy confirmation. So in order to overcome these problems, we can also go for the other methods called as a barrier methods. In the barrier methods, we can see that avoid by using the barrier of rubber latex like Nirod, condoms, diaphragm, cervical caps, walls, which block the sperm entry, and you can also use the spermicidal jellies or creams, foams, or reusable, which can be increase the efficiency. So the additional benefit of this is this will stop the sexual transmission of diseases, and the Nirod is a brand which is generally a male condom brand which is known to many of the people. So generally this barrier methods will do the three important functions, that is prevents insemination, and it can be easily disposable, and they are self-insertable. So no other people are required. And coming on to the third method called as intrauterine devices and implants. These intrauterine devices or implants are the are the implants which are used generally by the females. These are generally inserted by the doctors. So these are mostly acceptable and these are generally ideal. So in this, IUDs are of three types. They are generally non-medicated IUDs. The non-medicated IUDs are Lippis loops, means they will be inserted in the cervical region or the vaginal region by the doctor, and this will prevent the entry of sperm by trapping them. The second type of IUDs are copper releasing IUDs. These copper releasing IUDs are of three brands, that is CUT. Because of the shape it is called as a CUT. A copper releasing T-shaped IUD and CU7, that is copper releasing 7 shaped IUD and also multi-load 375. Apart from this, there are certain other IUDs like hormone releasing IUDs. These are progesterone and LNG20. They release the hormones unsuitable, making the uterine conditions unsuitable. So what are the major functions of these IUDs? IUDs will release the copper ions, where this capacity of the motility will be suppressed, and it also prevents the motility of the sperm is suppressed, or the fertilizing capacity is reduced, and it is also making the cervix hostile for the sperms because of the contraction. So it will closes the cervix and the entry of sperms is generally regulated. So by using these IUDs, we cannot stop the AIDS. And now coming on to the oral contraceptives. Oral means by mouth. Contraceptives means which stops the pregnancy. So generally we can use the oral contraceptives like already we have discussed. It can be used for daily for 21 days and stopping for 7 days. Then during that gap, the menstruation cycle is repeated. Generally these pills will stop the ovulation, and if ovulation is done, it will stop the implantation. Sometimes if the implantation is also done, we can stop the embryo development. But there are certain emergency contraceptives which can be used after coitus 72 hours during the rape or certain criminal conditions. We can go for this, where this will prevent the fertilization process. So in that already we have discussed one of the important ones, Haley. So in continuation to that, implants and injections. So implant and injections are generally these are the similar to pills, but these are generally done by the doctors, where injection is given or implants are done just below the body cavity. In the males as well as female, these are similar to the pearls but in the chemical composition, but which has more effective period. So generally they can be used between it can stop to 6 months, 3 months to 3 years also. Sometimes these implants can work. And generally in the case of the certain conditions, contraceptive conditions, we can also see that this will avoid the pregnancy due to the rape or casual unprotected sex conditions, and this can be used within 72 hours, that is 3 days after the coitus, in the rape or casual unprotected sex conditions. So we can also use the progesterone and estrogen combination, and this is a very highly effective process for stopping the pregnancy in the emergency time. And the last one is the sterilization methods. So sterilization means terminal way. This is a surgical method or terminal way which is highly effective, and it has very poor reversibility conditions. So the sterilization is of two types. One is the vasectomy and tubectomy. vasectomy and tubectomy. Vasectomy means cutting and tying of the incision, or cutting and tying up of the vasa differentia in the males is called vasectomy. Here the semen will be produced but without sperms. So here we can also use the vasectomy for sterilization, and it has very poor reversibility. The next process in the females is called as tubectomy. Tubectomy is a process where fallopian tube is cut from the either side, which prevents the ovulation, or ovum is destroyed in the near to the fallopian tube, and this is fallopian tube at the ampullary ischemic junction is cut and it will be tied. So this is a sterilization method is a very permanent method, and the other methods except first one are first to whatever we have discussed from here to this one are completely temporary methods, and temporary without side effect method is the natural methods. Now coming on to the medical termination of pregnancy. Medical termination of pregnancy means termination of pregnancy by the medical practitioner in the case of chromosomal abnormalities or because of several other fetal defects is called medical termination. Medical termination of pregnancy is also one of the major important reasons for the termination of pregnancies. And it is also contributing some amount to the population degradation or population explosion, arresting. But generally it is not meant for that. And you can see that approximately 15 million MTPs are performed per year, and every 1/5 of the pregnancies are performed through the MTPs. And the MTP was legalized in India in the year 1971, but the fetal sex determination test amniocentesis is banned in India. And you can also see that the medical termination of pregnancy is generally safe up to 3 months, and 6 months, that is the second trimester, is a problematic. But if it is required to save the mother or child, it is mandatory to do that through the surgical method. Now, coming on to the next one, sexual transmission of diseases or STDs. STD means sexually transmitted by the coitus or that related factors. The transmission of the disease or the passing of disease from a person to the other person takes place, then that type of diseases is called as STD. Many will be having a misconception that AIDS is only the STD. But STDs are many types. They can be categorized into bacterial diseases, viral diseases, and protozoal diseases. In these bacterial diseases are chlamydomonasis, gonorrhea, and syphilis. They are called by the bacteria and respective bacteria, and these are also this can be cured by the giving the respective antibiotics. And most of the repeated question is Neisseria gonorrhea is a disease spread by Neisseria gonorrhea, syphilis, Trypanosoma palladium, and the next one are the viral diseases, viral sexual transmission diseases. Viral sexual transmission diseases are, you can see that genital herpes, genital warts, hepatitis B, and HIV. In this, HIV is the most dangerous disease and it is also not curable. Apart from this, genital herpes is produced by human simplex virus, and genital warts by human papillomia virus, and hepatitis B virus. So in this we can see that genital herpes, hepatitis B, and HIV is a non-curable diseases in spite of using antiretroviral drugs. And you can also see that there are certain other sexually transmitted diseases through protozoans, that is trichomoniasis. So generally the most of the sexual transmission diseases, 70% is only by the sexual transmission, that is the coitus from the infected person to the healthy person through sexual transmission. But sexual transmission disease is not always communicated from a person to the other person, right? Only through the coital condition, but there are certain other factors like from the mother to the baby, that is through the pregnancy. The second one is transfer of blood from an infected person to the other person, and in certain cases to the saliva and tears, that is by kissing. And also certain times you can also see that blood transfusion, coital condition, baby to the mother, and also using of infected syringes and other medical instruments. So this is how it will be passed, but the 100% transmission takes place if a infected blood is given from a infected person to a healthy person. So here, coming to the point, what are the effects of the HIVs? So in the case of the HIVs, you can see that if the STDs are there, STDs are also called as, these are affected in the pelvic region, it are also called as pelvic inflammatory diseases or sexually transmitted diseases. But the pelvic inflammatory disease means because of this infection, the pelvic region is inflamed or the reproductive tract may be made non-functional sometimes. Because of these pelvic inflammatory diseases, you can see that there are certain chance of more abortions and stillbirth, means baby is dead inside the mother's womb before the development itself, or the pregnancy is happening other than the uterine, implantation is happening other than the uterine also. And generally, most of the STDs are generally transmitted in the age group of adolescents to the. So, government is also thinking of giving certain counseling classes to the people in the adolescent as well as the early adulthood people, because how the chances making them literate about the passing of diseases just like STDs. So they are also conducting certain programs, and now the most important factor is the infertility. According to the World Health Organization has given a particular definition stating that when a couple is having sex, that is coitus, but they are not able to give birth between the 12 to 24 months after the sexual intercourse without no contraceptives or no other any birth stopping methods, usage of birth stopping methods. In spite, they are not able to get, in spite of sexual cohabitation without no contraceptives, they are unable to, they are called as infertile couples. Approximately in India, there are 1 crore to 5 crores of Indian couples without the child. That is, they are suffering from the infertility related problems. So, in order to assist them to get the child, we will talk about a topic called as ART techniques. ART techniques means assisted reproductive tract technologies. So in this assisted reproductive tract technologies, we can see that we can assist the infertile couple in having the children, like having a program called as test tube baby. So a test tube baby, in that we can see that IVF. IVF is a program or assisted reproductive technology method where we can assist the infertile couple with children, that is fertilization outside the body of the male or female, male and female, and inserting them into that. Apart from this, we can also, after growing that fertilization is completed, who are suffering from that problem, the embryo greater than 8 cell stage or less than 8 cell stage or early formation of embryo, they are implanted. If the embryo is transferred at gastrula or blastocyst stage, that is called as embryo transfer method, and if that is transferred between the 2 cell stage to 32 cell stage, that is morula stage or blastula stage, that is called as early embryo, is called as GIFT, that is zygote intrafallopian transfer. Apart from this, we can also come across some more techniques called as IUT. IUT is a method that is intrauterine transfer, means transfer of embryo or blastocyst at the greater than 8 blastomia stage into the uterus is called as intrauterine transfer. And you can also see that ICSI means intracytoplasmic spermic injection. Here the sperm is directly injected into the ova using a needle in lab. Once the fertilization is completed, that is given into that is again by the intrauterine transfer method, that is inserted into the uterus of the female. So generally, this can be done because of male partner impotency or female partner. Generally, 70% of the problems are from the female side and 30% from the male side. So in the male side, you can see that impotency. Impotency means inability of an erection of a penis of a male is called as impotency. So this can be also done in the other cases like azoospermia, means semen containing no sperms. And you can also go for the female. When you take that concern to the female will not be, female cannot produce the ovum, or ovum is not reaching the uterus, or ovum is not fertilizing in the ampullary stomach junction, or it is not implanting, or it is not the other process are taking place, but certain hormonal problems. So in these particular conditions, in vitro fertilization is a generally technique used in the females that who cannot conceive. So they can go for the GIFT, G-I-F-T. GIFT indicates gamete intrafallopian transfer, that where female who cannot produce the ovum. So the ovum will be retrieved from the donor and the ovum is fertilized outside and you can get the children. Now coming on to the artificial insemination. Artificial insemination is done when there is a very low sperm count called as oligospermia, or cannot inseminate because of impotency. So there is one more technique called as IUT. So in order the female to make fertilize, they use a technique called as intrauterine insemination. In the intrauterine insemination, you can see that it is a type of artificial insemination where sperms are introduced into the uterus of the female. In artificial insemination can be done in the uterus or vagina, and because of using one or more than one techniques in the process, we can make the doctors will be providing certain conditions for the baby to grow as a result. Now this infertility business is one of the greatest business in India with lakhs of turnover. So, thank you.